Ooh, grab your
Whoa.
joysticks and tickle your Baldur's Gate, because this is the Third Wheel Arcade. And I am so excited that we have Nick on this week. Nick is our third wheel, by the way. Because what a week for Nick it has been.
He's chomping at the bit
He
already.
is chomping at the bit. We can't let him off the leash yet, because once he starts, it's never going to end. This would be a really good week to be like lazy and tired, because I could just be like, "Hey Nick, hear about Baldur's Gate?" and then just click all of my shit off and go to bed.
Tweet out about the show.
I still need to do that. So with me as always is my beautiful, lovely co-host, Daniel. Jobless. I didn't know if we were going to bring that up.
Oh, we for sure will.
Dan will not be getting called away to do any sort of anything tonight.
Nope.
He's here
to go for the long haul and getting paid for it.
It's going to be a 9-hour show.
Yeah. Except I'm probably going to have to go get some fucking Chipotle later.
Always with the Chipotle.
Well, I mean, I'd like to treat myself.
Treat yourself.
Treat myself.
Alden remembers his last Chipotle experience.
I do. That's why it hurts me so much every time we talk about Chipotle on this show, because they ruined my life.
Really?
Not really. It was $25, but it still made me really mad.
Oh, yeah, I remember that now.
It was $25 that they wouldn't give back to me. Like,
you never got it back?
I mean, no.
They give you a burrito?
No, they didn't give me anything.
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
They give you a Subway gift card?
Yes. No. They told me I had to dispute the charge with my bank. I only have like 48 hours to dispute a charge with my bank, and I forgot. So
that happens.
It's on me, sort of, except for it's probably partially on Chipotle and the person who stole my account.
Mostly on the person that stole your shit. I'm just gonna go with that one.
But yes, as I gave away, Nicholas Downey, you are our third wheel. Welcome back.
Always glad to be here.
Did you say always glad to be here?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a little bit tired.
It's the beard.
I agree.
You agree that he's tired?
No, I agree that he's glad to be here.
Okay, that's fair.
What have we been playing? Dan, tell me what you've been playing first so that I can tweet about the show and let everybody know that we're live.
Okay. So I've been playing a lot of like.
All right.
Let's start that again. Here's what I haven't been playing. My job, because I lost it because the cock bastards fucking let me go this morning. Actually, you know what makes it even worse is they fucking let me go after I did a whole bunch of fucking work. They didn't have the goddamn decency to fucking let me know first thing in the morning. They're like, well, we're going to let them finish doing all this shitty work, and then we'll kind of tell them. So anyway, I've been playing Yakuza, and 6, I finished it. It was awesome. It was probably my favorite one so far. And I only made it through like, I think 3 chapters of Kiwami 2 the first time I played through it. So I'm starting that again. So I think I'm at chapter 4 or 5. Still awesome. I love that series. I really want them to come out with the rest of them remastered. And I'm super looking forward to Judgment, even though I know it's probably nothing to do with it. That's fine. I still want to play it. It's mostly because of the stupid ass shit that happens. Yesterday, I think I had a guy fucking take pictures of me while he was in a Speedo. I had to pose for him. It was pretty exciting. And
did it make you feel pretty?
Yeah, and then he fought me at the end. I don't know why. He just wanted to beat the shit out of me. But then we came to an agreement, and we all hugged it out in his Speedo. So that
sounds like more of a rub it out situation than a hug it out situation.
Really, it's those side quests, man. They always get these weird ass, like, one I had to dress up as a mascot and go entertain some kids, which is super creepy.
See, I'm gonna give give you a spoiler from the Gaming Perspective episode I was supposed to upload today, but I'm swamped, so it's getting uploaded tomorrow. We were talking about the Yakuza series. I said, you wait, they'll be making a new Yakuza game. There'll be a side mission where Hideo Kojima's in it. And he's like, I need your help to gather all these actors for my big project. And you spend a whole side mission chasing around famous actors.
Like, yeah.
That's too true.
Norman Reedus.
Yeah, that's too true to real life.
Yeah.
You find him on the toilet.
He's like, fuck yeah, Mads Milkinson. We'll get to that in a minute. I don't know what else I've been playing. Sea of Thieves.
Really?
Still trying to grind to get to level 40 in the gold thing. It's a bitch because sometimes I play with my buddy, and that sucks. Sometimes I play by myself. That's actually better for some reason. I seem like I get more done. And then I think the other night we were both playing together, and these people just pulled up on us. And they were like, "Hey, we're friendly." We all got in a party chat, and we ended up just running around and getting all kinds of shit that I didn't even know was possible. I didn't realize half of this shit was actually in the game right now. But they were super cool, super nice, except they had like a 12-year-old kid that was super chatty and annoying. But short of him, it was actually really good, except then my buddy didn't talk the entire time. Like, I don't know if he was embarrassed or he's socially awkward. I'm not sure what happened. Yeah, it was Greg.
Kind of socially awkward, I think.
Yeah, it might be a little bit of both. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, he didn't talk, so it was kind of hard communicating. Then he got knocked off the boat or eaten by a shark. And so then it was a process of, hey, we're going here. You need to meet us here with our boat because you respawn on your own boat. Well, we all jumped on this people's sloop. There was like 6 or 7 of us and on this little tiny boat, which worked out great. But getting him to go somewhere and not being there with him is so, and he's directionally challenged. So I was like, just go south and see what happens. Hopefully you don't die. He eventually made it to us and then crashed into a dock. So that's like a half a point. I don't know what else I've been playing.
Well, so I want to ask you real quick because you brought up something that reminded me of one of my frustrations with Sea of Thieves. Yes. When it first launched, that was one of the things that bothered me the most, is that no matter how much time you played, like, you could never get enough gold.
No,
like it took like 400 hours to get enough gold to buy a cosmetic upgrade for your ship, like to get a mast or whatever for your ship. It was hundreds of hours. Is it still like that?
Yeah, it's still like that. The only thing that makes it the problem is that it doesn't really scale. Like, so I'm at level 35, so you get missions based on what level you are. So I feel like there's times where I get a mission and I still get these shitty chests that, because they don't give you, I'm more worried about the rep at this point, but you get, the money, I've got a ton of it because I haven't spent anything because I'm trying to save up, but it doesn't give you the right, you'll get an island with like 5 chests on it, 4 of which are the cheapest chest you can get, the Castaway or Seafarers or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Pisses me off. So I've gotten to the point now where I just get a whole bunch of missions. I find out the riddle ones where you got to read the riddle.
Mm-hmm.
It's a waste of time. It takes too long. You get 1 chest. Fuck that shit. So you want to find like these little islands and they have like 5 or 6 chests on them and then just go that way. The only problem is you got to probably go through 4 or 5 different quests, just voting on them and canceling them over and over again just to get to that point. So, which is fine because they're not very expensive. It's just fucking super annoying. And then when you find one, you're kind of rolling the dice whether or not somebody's going to fucking come and kill you or get caught by a Kraken, which I did the other day, and that fucking sucked. But I actually escaped. I'm not sure how that happened. I was by myself. It's still frustrating, but there's a lot more to do. I guess there's still, but you get the bigger loot by going to like the forts and the skeleton ships and the bigger bosses and stuff. But I can't do that by myself because I'm not good. So
I think they're made for more people too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. I with those guys that helped me out, I beat the first Kraken I ever fought and the Megalodon, I think. It was like, it wasn't even an issue. It was like so easy. I was like, what the hell, man? I said, that took like 2-3 minutes. I said, I'm over here just trying to live. This is bullshit. Bullshit, Sea of Thieves. Scale your fucking loot better, Anthem.
Bullshit. Right. Let's. Yeah. Oof. So, but that Catholic Church though, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. You guys don't want to talk about what you guys are playing?
I mean, we will. You want to get into the?
Yeah, let's fucking do it right now. All right. So I worked past tense for the Catholic Church. They fucking let me go today. All right. I have busted my ass for 2 years. 2 years ago, they asked me personally, my priest did, to come over there and help with the transition and have the job. I basically maintenance everything. I basically manage a facility. And then today, he told me that they're going in a different direction. I'm not sure what the direction was, but it sounded like exactly what I do right now. And he said, we're going to let you go, but we're going to pay for your month of June and all your vacation time. I said, okay. Fuck yourself, you piece of shit. What people don't realize, all right, I mean, I don't want to get into a whole faith argument because at this point I don't give a shit, but the shit that happens behind the scenes, it's so ugly and toxic and disgusting that you would never think that would happen. I never did, but I'm sure it happens all over the place.
Yeah.
It's turning into a business as opposed to a church. You know, I know the Catholic Church is one of the biggest donators to charities. It is the number one in the world, but the way they get to that point is shady as fuck. So I've seen things. I've seen people just completely get treated like shit, myself included, used like tools, you know, just for, you know, that extra dollar, the extra $2. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the fuck they're going to do now, but they can lick my fucking ball sack twice. That's what I say. I'm so fucking tired of those bitches. I'm going to look at this as a good thing. I'm out of that fucking place. No more toxic shit. I got some jobs lined up already. I got a month off. I'm going to Colorado. I'm going to fucking visit a dispensary maybe once or twice. And I'm going to enjoy my time and spend some time with the kids, which I didn't get to do because they fucked me on my hours prior to this. Like, change my hours and shit up. I can keep going forever.
Yeah, it's been crazy. It's been awful. Like,
well, the other day I had to leave.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of a fucking podcast because shit doesn't get done. Now I don't know what they're going to do now.
Exactly.
I also don't give a fuck. So there's that. So kiss my nuts, Catholic Church. You can suck my dick.
I think you're about 30 years too old for them to want to kiss your. I never mind. That's an off-color joke.
It was a good joke.
Yeah,
a good joke.
I will say I've never seen that happen, but I can definitely see how it happens. It's pretty fucked up there. I mean, it's gotten to the point now where it's gross. It's a gross church.
Well, I grew up in church life. I mean, I was never behind the scenes of a church, but we went to church every week, a couple times a week. I went to Christian school, and so I've seen a lot of that, like, corruption. In fact, like, I'd say 80% of the churches out there are corrupt and awful.
You're probably not far off.
And I'm not. I still feel like faith is a good thing if you can find the right place for you. But I see so much corruption and awfulness in it that it was rough for a long time. I fell out of that completely because I'd seen so much awfulness in that community that I couldn't handle it anymore.
To be fair, if they actually saw any of my social media and or these podcasts, they probably would have fired me a long time ago.
I was surprised they'd never ran into your podcasts. I
am shocked. Literally shocked because it's a lot of this stuff is all tied, together. And I'm just like, man, one day something's going to happen. And they're going to be like, man, is that the same guy that fucking works here? Because I'm super nice there. Yeah, we have them around. He works around children. Oh my God, what the fuck is that guy? What the fuck? Yeah. But, this is how I talk in front of my kids. They know. So love it or hate it. I don't give a shit. So
love it.
Fuck them.
Fuck them. Nick, what have you been playing?
Well, if it makes Dan feel any better, I was expelled out of 3 different Catholic schools in a 4-month period. So
nice.
And I won't go into why I was expelled. One was for I got expelled out of the first Catholic school for playing "Raining Blood" during music class by Slayer.
What?
Sweet.
Why would you get expelled for that?
There was also some other things that went along with that. But anyways,
yes, naked.
I believe in playing Slayer naked. Okay, no, it kind of involved me hijacking PA system during mass from the music room, and yeah, I was a dick when I was in grade 10. But what have I been playing? I haven't really been playing anything. I've put out 4 videos and about 16 articles this week.
Yeah.
So I've been basically playing nothing. what I have been playing in my free time is Rage 2, which is the most confusing, conflicted I've felt with a video game in a long time. Because every time it does something I love, it does something I hate on the flip side of it. I'm just like, why you do that? And I'm also really the most disappointing factor of that game is I really thought it was going to have really stupid humor through the whole game because that's all they pitched in the trailers. And then it's like it's just sprinkled in very lightly.
Yeah. So a guy at work actually stopped me today, and he said, because I'm the video game guy at work, and he said, "Hey, I've actually been playing a lot of Rage 2. It's a really bad game." And I said, "Okay, I've heard it's kind of like it kind of loses its way." And he said, "Yeah, it's like Doom, like it's got like the gunplay of Doom, but it's way better than Doom. But it's actually still just it's a really bad game."
Excuse me, it's better than Doom. Okay, where do you live again? I'm coming to slap somebody. Like,
okay,
like
you talk exclusively the gunplay though.
I think so.
Okay.
I would say it's probably close to on par with it. It's probably some of the best gunplay I've had in the game. But yeah, it's hard to. The whole package of Doom is so much better.
Like, how do I put this? The best moments of Rage 2 is when it's emulating Doom. Like when you're in enclosed spaces and it's a very linear section or a linear style mission, the game feels amazing. But as soon as you get released back into that open world, it's crap again.
Mm-hmm.
Because you want that combat is so kinetic, you want it all the time. You start combat, the music kicks in, there's gore flying everywhere, you're shooting people to bits, using all these powers. It's amazing. And then you finish it, and then you spend 10 minutes going around a settlement trying to find all those stupid little loot boxes they've hidden everywhere for the money and stuff you need for upgrades. With a stupid radar ping system trying to find it. You're looking for literal plastic crates full of crap. You're just like, no. And then you're like, oh yeah, there's actual good gameplay where I can like have fun in this. But it's just like, it's made by Avalanche Studios and it's made by ID Software as a team effort, so to speak. And honestly, you can tell what ID Software did and you can tell what Avalanche did because everything that sucks in the game, Avalanche did.
It's the best shotgun I've ever used in a game.
As soon as you get the upgrade for it, where you don't have to individually load the shells, it's just one clip. You can just go boom, 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 boom.
There's no point in using any other gun at that point. I mean, I just basically use that and a assault rifle sometimes, and the missile launcher for the bigger stuff. But I just shotgun my way to fucking everything.
And the overdrive, like the shotgun, once you kick it into overdrive, just it's like I'm a hot knife, and all these guys are made out of butter.
That's it, man. That's the best part of the game is just that shotgun and just mowing fuckers down. It's so good. But yeah, it's probably a $10 game.
Yeah, like I'm not even joking. Like I'm a huge ID Software nerd, but like literally, this feels like just a precursor to get me more hyped for Doom Eternal.
Yeah, that's gonna be that. Yeah, if they can pull like that mechanic over, which I know they will, it's gonna be gross. It's gonna be amazing, an amazing game. That's gonna be day one for sure. But yeah, did you finish Rage 2?
No, I'm still in the process of playing it. My problem is like I should have finished it a while ago, but instead of like following the story missions, which I don't care about, I'm just going around killing all the things they'll let me kill.
Yeah, I accidentally finished it. I had no idea. I was fucking playing, and all of a sudden the credits started rolling. I was like, "That was it? What the hell? I don't even remember doing it." I was like, "What the fuck, man?" And then it was like, "Oh, hey, you can go back and do all this other shit." Why the fuck am I want to? Because that was shit.
It's the weirdest game to listen to anyone talk about.
Yeah.
I'm not getting it anytime soon, but hearing everyone talk about it is just like, oh, it was so amazing. This one thing that you could do, like, it's really awesome. That thing was so awesome. The game sucks.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon Zero Dawn was really pretty, but everything else was bad.
Literally wearing a Horizon Zero Dawn shirt.
I know. That's why I was like, oh, I'm gonna shoot my shot now.
$60? Huh? It's a $60 game, right?
What, Rage 2?
Rage, yeah.
I don't know. I didn't buy it, so.
No.
Yeah, I think I did. God damn, what a fucking waste of money.
Yeah, it was $60, I think. I don't know if it still is.
Garbage.
Yeah.
Shotgun.
Yeah. Well, anything else you've been playing? Just Rage 2?
Rage 2, Stardew Valley on my Vita because my God, is that so relaxing to play in bed.
Yeah.
Little soundtrack and just little it's nice.
How many years in are you?
Oh, I'm still in the first year. I started I started it and then was like, I'm not in the mood for this. And then with like work and E3 and everything being like super stressful, it's like it's the best game right now because it's like it doesn't even feel like I'm playing a video game. I just have like a little happy farming life where I don't have to worry about anything, and it's nice.
Yeah, I agree completely. Stardew Valley gets its hooks in me once a year, and I spend like a week with it, and then I'm like, what have I done with my life for the last week? I've been planting crops every night for 4 hours. I have to do something else. But I've been playing. Funny you should ask.
Hey, what have you been playing?
I've been playing. I reviewed Unruly Heroes. I reviewed Unruly Heroes for the PS4. Huh?
Give us just the down low.
The down low. This game is. I didn't even know anything about this game when I got it. Bra gave me a review code. He asked me to review it. So I said sure. And it's a 2D side scroller. So that's my shit. Yes. As soon as I started playing it, I felt like it was just ripping off Rayman. It felt like Rayman Legends so hard, to the point where it was like a detriment to it because I know that Rayman Legends is a good game, but I don't feel like it's for me. You know what I mean? Like it's a little bit too easy. It's a little bit too kind of the same thing over and over again. There's not a lot of variety. You just go from like all the levels are green to like, oh, I'm in a new area. And I know that because all the levels are blue. There's some cool stuff in it. The music levels are really awesome. I wish that was in Unruly Heroes, but it's not. But the rest of Unruly Heroes, after you play for a couple hours, the gameplay completely changes. Like it completely opens up. The variety in this title is so good and so unlike, I think, really any 2D side scroller I've played, because the way that you play the game completely changes like 2 or 3 times. Like you go from these characters who can double jump. It's in this old like feudal China setting. You're 4 characters. You can switch between each character, and you have to switch in between each character because there are different obstacles you'll encounter throughout the way that you could have to use specific characters to get through. Maybe you need to use the big guy to punch down the wall, and then you need to use the fat pig guy to float like a balloon. You have to use the little monkey to walk across his staff. That's weird to say. And as you get further on, like 2 or 3 hours in, you get sent to this like kind of hell area, and your characters completely change their abilities. So the way you play has to completely change. And then a few levels later, the gameplay changes again. And now you've got like these guns on your head that you can shoot instead of regular combat. So it turns out this game was made by the team that made Rayman Legends. I didn't realize that until I was writing my review. And as soon as I read that, I was like, oh, I guess I forgive them. Like, they left, who makes Rayman? Oh, Ubisoft. They left Ubi and started their own studio. And it almost seems like they were like, all right, see, this is how we should have made Rayman. Like, we always wanted it to be more open. Let's do that with this game and show everybody that this is how it could have been. And it's a really, really, really good game. It's not my favorite platformer I've ever played. It's probably not my favorite platform. It's definitely not my favorite platformer this year. The Messenger is fucking amazing, but it's still really good. It's definitely worth playing. It's only $20. So if you like Rayman Legends at all, it's perfect. And if even if you don't like it, if you like 2D side scrollers, it's a really fun game anyway.
Nice. But
if you don't like 2D side scrollers, it super isn't for you.
Right.
So I've been playing this game that completely took me by surprise. It's a little nothing game. It's called Future Grind. It's $1.99 on the Switch. it was $20, but it was marked down to $1.99, and I decided to get it because somebody posted about it on Reddit, about the price drop, some like deals subreddit, and somebody commented on that post and said, well, dropping from $20 to $2, it's only been out for 6 months, must be a shitty game because it's Reddit and people are assholes. And the dev of the game replied and said, funny you should say that. You know, I really think this is an amazing game. The problem is, to be honest with you, the game has sold like shit. No one's buying it. And I think it's an amazing game. And if we could mark it down to $2, people would play it, people would try it, and people would talk about it. So I was like, good on you for getting in there and defending your game and explaining why you did what you did and being completely upfront and saying, hey, my game sold like shit. So I figured $2, it's worth a shot. It's a grinding game. I don't know how to describe the game. You grind on rails, and that's the game. But it's super twitchy, super fun. Obviously, the further you get in the game, the more the levels change and the variety changes, and you can't touch this and you can't do this, and now you can flip around and do this. But also what kept me going is throughout the whole game, like as you get 20 or 30 levels in, there starts to be like this underlying story to the game that wasn't there and was never advertised. It just is there. Like you'll get a message from another character that says, everything isn't what it seems. Please take care of this for me. And you start to, it's almost like you're going through this like backdoor spying kind of thing. And it's a really cool like thread that keeps this what otherwise would seem like an upscaled mobile game. It makes it a lot more interesting. Any game should add like a little bit of story element to it. Like, as a single player gamer, I feel like most games should have like a little thread of something in it. And it kept me going. I finished the game today. It was really fun. It's worth $2. It's probably worth 10 or 15 bucks. I don't think it's worth 20, but it is what it is. But those are my 2 games that no one's heard of that I've been playing. So,
do any of them play like Death Stranding?
None of them play like Death Stranding, but I love that segue. Nothing in history plays like Death Stranding. And again, I'm glad to have you on, Nick, because you are a Kojima fan. Yeah. Exactly. More so than Dan, for sure.
Well, okay. Look.
The opposite of a fan. And I'm kind of indifferent on him. Like, I feel like he can be amazing, but in general, it's kind of fucking weird.
Look, I've always had my methodology of thinking with Kojima is I like his games because mechanically he made really good stealth games. Mm-hmm. And mechanically he was ahead of the curve of stealth games.
Yes.
And Metal Gear Solid 5, Phantom Pain, which I don't like talking about, mechanically is one of the best stealth games of this generation. Mechanically. What made that game terrible was the story at the ending, because after playing for 90 hours, he couldn't tie up the ending in a way that made sense.
300 hours in that game.
Holy shit.
300 hours.
I wasn't aware of that. It all makes sense.
And I'm not one of these people that will defend Kojima to the nines on the whole, oh, well, he made the ending to troll Konami because he knew he was done.
Game on, bro.
Love
you, bro.
Metal Gear Solid 5, I think a lot of people don't know a lot of Kojima's history. Kojima had a co-writer that he worked with all the way through the Metal Gear Solid series. So it kind of like almost like an anchor point, I call him, is like when Kojima would go too far off, he'd go, no. Let's reel this back. Let's do this. And Kojima would go, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Did they kill him at the end of writing number 5? Like, did he punch them and knock him out?
No, he quit after, which one was it? Would have been Metal Gear Solid 4, I think.
All right, now we're
Or
talking.
he might have been part of that Platinum Games Metal Gear game. I can't remember. But he ended up going a different direction. I think he went to Square Enix, if I remember correctly, to work on Final Fantasy 15 at the time. And Kojima did Metal Gear Solid 5 by himself And I think without having someone to rein him in, it resulted in a convoluted mess because Konami went, we can't spend any more money on this game. Like, everyone knows, like, everyone was like, oh, fuck Konami. They fucked over Kojima. And yeah, there was a little bit, like, them barring him from going to the Game Awards and accepting his award. That was douchey.
Yeah.
But the thing is like, Kojima had no problems blowing Konami's money away and just being like, it's for the art. And, like, if you run a multi-million-dollar corporation, when you see someone just pissing money away, what's your reaction to that?
I'm with you.
Right? So, like, I've always kind of understood that. And then him starting his own studio and then Sony being like, here's a blank check. I'm like, oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Yeah. That's crazy.
And, like, Death Stranding has all the things that I'm excited for the game because I want to see what he can do on his own. But the thing is it has all the lines and details that he doesn't have a clue of what he's doing again.
Yeah, it definitely seems like there's no one there to rein him in. We don't know until the game's out, but there was an 8-minute trailer, and it didn't explain anything. It only made everything look more confusing. It definitely looks to me like we're going to play the game, we're going to get through the experience, and at the end of it, everyone's going to go, what the fuck? And then a bunch of people are going to say, oh, you just don't get it. What really happened is the whole world was an analogy for the bombing.
For my scrotum. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, like people need to realize, like, I understand, like, in the past few years, the term game as art makes a lot of sense. Like, there's games where I'm like, that's a video game, but it's art. You know what I mean? But the thing is like, you have to either be telling a story that's so riveting that people don't want to put it down, or you have to have gameplay that's so unique that people don't want to put it down. I'll use the examples like What Remains of Edith Finch to me is art in a game.
Yes.
For the simple reason is the amount of story and the amount of feelings they pack into essentially an hour and 20-minute, an hour and 30-minute game is absolutely astounding. But the thing is like with Death Stranding, I've got this huge worry that this is going to be like a 90-something hour game with a convoluted story. And the reason why I think it's going to be a 90-hour game is they need 90 hours to get all the actors he's got in this game to make them relevant.
I mean, there's a guy named Die Hardman.
All right. Like, at this point where I'm sitting with Kojima's, I'm excited for Death Stranding. I'm excited to see what it is and everything else. But at this point, after Death Stranding, just let the man go make a movie. Because I think he could make a really killer movie. I think he doesn't want to do games anymore. It doesn't feel like it. Because if you watch the gameplay of Death Stranding, it's like, Okay, so there's climbing. The melee combat looks like Horizon Zero Dawn's melee combat, which... Come on, we all know the best part.
Amazing it is, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
like Horizon Zero Dawn, the most amazing part was the bow mechanics. And like, I don't know, it's a mixed bag of things on how I feel about it. And like, and we talked about this in the group chat. The amount of times his name appeared in that trailer.
Yeah.
Like, people are like, oh, people are going to buy this game on his name alone, which is true. And they're like, no other game developer, people do that for him. Like, no other game developer would put their name in the trailer 9 times.
Well, yeah, and I said in the group DM, yeah.
He likes him.
There's a danger in hyping your game to that extent and hyping your name to that extent. Like, when you're hyping at that level, all you can do is disappoint most people. Like, work on this on the down low, release stuff as it's ready, as the game is almost ready to come out. Don't spend years talking about how amazing your game is going to be, because it sets a precedent. And Kojima just seems so full of himself and so in love with everything that he's created that he feels like he can just create whatever poop vision that he had and call it art. And there's a chance that could work. Like you said, like the Metal Gear games were groundbreaking. I don't personally feel like they held up anymore. They don't.
No, if you
up.
actually go back and play Metal Gear Solid 3, mechanically it's terrible. Like the
right.
controls make no sense anymore.
Right, but it paved the way for games to come out that were better.
Yes.
It created this genre, this style of game, this game that could be treated like a movie. Like there wasn't really much like that before that. But nowadays it doesn't hold up. So to your point, like he needs to be reined in at least a little, if not a lot. By the way, like when you hear Norman Reedus, seriously, like not in any sort of like facetious tone, go, hold on, I gotta strap into the bridge, baby, before we can move on. Bridge, baby? What are you like? How can you say that and not go, hey, this is kind of fucked up, I gotta go?
Yeah.
Also, a coworker and I realized how much bridge baby sounds like an awful racial term. Like,
oh my God, yeah,
kind of does.
Well,
as we were leaving the other day, he turned to me and he goes, "All right, let's go, you fucking bridge baby." And I was like, "Shush!"
Yeah,
like,
whoa. You need to rein that in, dude.
The biggest thing I think, like everyone's hyping this up on social media, and they're like, "Oh, it's the fastest viewed trailer of this year," and blah 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 blah. The thing is my concern with Death Stranding is why Metal Gear was so successful in terms of both a hardcore and a casual audience. Is casual people could pick up Metal Gear Solid 3 and treat it as a espionage spy thriller and not look too deep into the story and have a good time. Mm-hmm. And then people that really want to immerse themselves in the lore could immerse themselves in the lore. Death Stranding looks like it's just going to be the deep, complicated storytelling without any casual experience. Like your casual gamer picks this game up, they're going to be like, the fuck, a bridge, baby? What the fuck? like people that are here for Kojima are going to be here for Kojima regardless. I don't understand the mainstream appeal of this. Like, I don't know how, like, I showed my mom bought an Xbox like 6-8 months ago now because she saw an Assassin's Creed Odyssey trailer.
Wow.
I was like, that looks amazing. I need to play that. So she bought an Xbox again, started playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, loved it. She played Uncharted 4. She loved it. I disowned her as my mother.
You should have her play Horizon Zero Dawn.
That's what she's playing right now, actually.
Holy shit, that's fantastic.
She's enjoying it. But the thing is I showed her the Death Stranding trailer, and she's like, are you high? I'm like, no, I didn't make this.
Am I high? What is happening?
Well, Dan, you tweeted about your wife's response to to the trailer.
Yes,
and it seemed kind of similar to the "Are you high?"
Yes, I mean it was a lot of what the fuck. Nice ladder. Oh, that's pretty.
That ladder was my favorite part when he pulled out a ladder and we watched him climb a 300-foot ladder for just 30 seconds.
Dink. Listen, I have no problem with Kojima. I have no problem. That's not true. I have a lot of problems. Here's the problem. My biggest problem with it is that you can't slap a name on something and just be like, well, that's going to be awesome. BioWare, for example, made some amazing games. I'm not going to get into Anthem too much, but then they fucked that up, right? So everybody is going to be so hyped with this. I don't understand between like Jeff Keighley and what the hell is the guy's name? I can't remember. Kojima's dick is probably so wet 24/7. It's unbelievable. I don't understand the worship that the man gets for making games that, you know, while mechanically, like you said, Nick, are amazing. And I think that's part of why I put 300 fucking hours into Metal Gear Solid 5, because I really love that stealth mechanic, right? I just, if I couldn't finish it stealth, I would go back and try it again. So almost every mission I did, I tried to do it that way. And I love stealth games anyway. So that was great, except the payoff was shit. So you get to the end and you're just like, well, what the fuck did I just waste 300 hours on this for? I was really hoping for something a little bit more coherent. I should have known better, you know, but I liked all the other Metal Gears. I mean, they were out there, but he does stuff that's so, like with the Psycho Mantis thing in Metal Gear Solid 2, right? It was Was that the one? Was that one? I can't remember.
That was one.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 1, because that was the PS1
Right.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah, because of the memory card thing, it could read
that was
your memory.
nuts.
Nuts. It was so crazy. So he's got the potential to make, like, Death Stranding. I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna play as much time as I have to in it. I want people to be excited about it. I just want to rein in the Kojima love a little bit, because this is his first time, right, by himself, totally. No Konami, no. This is, like you said, Nick, blank check. Nobody anchoring him down. I don't know what's going to happen. Nobody knows what's going to happen. People are buying and pre-ordering the game already based on an 8-minute trailer, which is fine. Do what you want. I did the same thing for several games. Maybe not an 8-minute trailer, but it's fine. Be a fan, but don't pass judgment on a game that's not even out yet. And I should say the same thing for myself. I don't know. I think he's certifiably insane. All right. I think he's crazy. He got like the most insane people to be in this. It's like, I don't know. It's like the Sandlot with a bunch of crazy ass psychos. It's the weirdest shit. Norman Reedus, super weird dude. Madden Wilkinson, forget about it. He might be weirder than Kojima, but I love him so much. So, and then what the hell is his face? Guillermo del Toro or whatever the fuck his name. And he's also insane. So I don't know, man. I would like to say a lot of things. I don't hate Kojima necessarily. I hate the fact that people think he's some kind of video game god. When I actually, and people like the shit, I guess. I don't know. The guy's fucking nuts. And the 8-minute trailer, while making more sense than the previous 8-minute trailer that we saw last year, at least you have some kind of idea of what you're going to be doing. Now, is the gameplay going to match the insane story? Probably not. It's going to be hard to, but yeah, Sweet Ladder. That looks pretty cool. I don't know. You can pee. On command. That's pretty awesome. Right. I don't know anything about these Bridge Babies, but I will play the game all the way through. I will see how it is. I just want something coherent. I'm interested to see how these strands work, right? These multiplayer connections.
I love
to other
that.
players.
Yeah.
I think that's, I see where he wants to go, but it depends on how he gets there, I guess. So we'll see.
The most interesting part of it that caught my attention, that guaranteed my pre-order, wasn't the trailer. I watched the trailer and kind of went, it's interesting. The thing that got me was, when you die, you don't truly die. It just takes you to an alternate dimension that you need to escape. That's cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
And what really got me is, killing people isn't always the answer. Every death has a consequence. If you can if he somehow magically pulls it out of the hat so that if you kill an AI guy and then it changes the ending of the game, that's next level stuff. The thing with Kojima is that I think he's great. Like, I like him better than the guy from Platinum Games. What's his name?
John.
It's got me blocked. Kamiya?
Yes, Kamiya.
Steve?
I think that's how you say it.
Yeah.
Steve. Jonathan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kamiya, the guy who did Bayonetta.
Yeah.
Yes.
Him?
Yeah.
Fuck him. Okay? He's the only person I know that people worship him, not to the same degree as Kojima, but he literally has no fucking time for his fans and will block his fans.
That's
like,
cool.
someone asked him, "Oh, are you guys really excited to be working on Bayonetta 3?" He quote tweeted and went, "Well, of course, I wouldn't be working on it if I wasn't excited. Get blocked." I'm like,
that's beautiful.
Like, there was the whole joke. He got really mad because someone made a Reddit photo and they photoshopped him into a Funko Pop, and it came with an auto block button. So then he started auto blocking anyone that was associated with Reddit, and it was hilarious. But regardless, it's like, with Kojima, it's just, I think a lot of the time what he thinks and what he wants to convey doesn't translate necessarily well because gaming isn't there yet.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to elevate him to like a god tier level of thinking, but when you start talking about every person's death has a consequence, you start talking about alternate realities within the game, after death and then having to escape that and everything else. That's really next level shit.
Yes.
But the problem is like, how do you execute that as a game designer?
Well, I'll say this: if there's anybody that could do it, it's probably him. I mean, he's good. I mean, I'm hoping this game. I know it's going to sell like crazy. So, it's going to
actually.
Sell.
I wanted to ask you guys this actually because I was talking to Sam about this. Do you think the November 8th release date's kind of suicide for a new IP?
Not
if it was anybody else, but this game,
right?
Well, the reason I bring this up is because Call of Duty's launching the week before, and it's Modern Warfare, and like the hype level escalation for that game has gone way past any Call of Duty in the past 4 years. Like, it seems almost nutty. Like, no matter how much people worship Kojima and everything else, the big thing is like Sony's biggest win this generation has been release date planning. Like Spider-Man released in a 4-week block where nothing else released. God of War released in a block where nothing else released.
I think Death Stranding would be better suited for a February, March, April release, but I think that's where Last of Us 2 is going to be.
Yes.
So I think fall was best they could do. I'm afraid that it's going to get delayed. And what does that mean for Last of Us 2 at that point? Because they still have only been working on it for a few years.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is here is like what people don't realize is like Death Stranding since about when did Horizon Zero Dawn launch, Alden? That was 2017?
Yeah.
So after Horizon Zero Dawn launched, a good majority of Guerrilla Games team, like some stayed back and worked on the Frozen Wild DLC, which was fantastic. I have to paraphrase that because everyone I know said the DLC was amazing, so I'll throw that in there.
Don't worry. So is Horizon Zero Dawn, by the way, but go on.
No. The game is fucking. Let me tell you one thing about that DLC. I couldn't see shit half the goddamn time because it snows too much. I was like, this is really pissing me off. I can't see anything. The fucking snow was too good. So
it was very good.
Yeah, it was very good.
Cool. So Guerrilla Games assisted. I think there was a Reddit rumor that there was something like 100 people from Guerrilla Games and Kojima Studios getting this game out the door.
Wow.
The thing is like when you start talking about The Last of Us Part 2, Naughty Dog doesn't have that benefit. Naughty Dog's got to push their own staff. And like there was a rumor on Reset Era that was going around, and a couple of people that know people at Naughty Dog kind of confirmed it and said that they're working like 6 days a week, 13 to 14 hour days, trying to crunch The Last of Us Part 2. And it made sense when there was that rumor going around that was going to release in fall. That kind of crunch made sense. But if this game's not projected till spring and they're crunching like that now, they're trying to literally like crunch through a year and a half of development in like 6 to 8 months.
If you read Jason Schreier's book at all, Blood, Sweat, and Pixels, and his whole chapter about Naughty Dog, I tried to block it from my memory anytime I think of Naughty Dog because their games are so amazing, but the cost of that, like, they push everyone way too hard. And I think a lot of it is partially because everyone loves what they're doing and everyone wants to make what they're working on great. So they kind of let themselves be worked to death like that. But I mean, the stories that people had to say about that game where they were just literally, there were people sleeping at their desks every night and then waking up, working on the game until it was time to go to sleep again and sleeping at their desk again. Like there were some wives interviewed in that said, I didn't see my husband for 6 months because he didn't come home.
It's funny you bring that up because actually a friend of mine worked at Naughty Dog through Uncharted 4 development and then part of The Last of Us Part 2. He ended up quitting about 6 to 8 months ago. He now works for CD Projekt Red. And literally I would not hear from him weeks on end, and he was putting in like 90-hour days. He was character model and animator for Naughty Dog for a couple of years, and he said the amount of hours he put in, and he said the thing is like the crunch is bad at Naughty Dog. It's on record that it's bad. But he says the thing is these people are literally willing to kill themselves,
right? Because
they believe in these games. And that translates to how good those games are, but I'm not 100% comfortable with these people killing themselves to bring out such a good game. Like, if The Last of Us Part 2 doesn't drop till fall of 2020, I'm fine with it. If people don't have to get blood clots in their legs or pass out at their desks for that to happen, I'm good with that. Like, I don't understand why we've got killed. Like, we've seen it. Look at the amount of developers that have exited the space this generation, just said they were overworked, underappreciated, or just ground into the dirt.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I agree with you 120%. I would so much rather wait on my games and see the developers treated fairly, and everyone, even like you said with Naughty Dog, where they're doing it because they want to see these games turn out great. Just give them more time then. Like, take your time. We know the game's going to sell. And it's even worse for other studios. Like when you hear about these stories from Anthem where the guys were working their asses off, working the same weeks, and then the game came out and it was a shit show. Like, can you imagine that? You killed yourself for that game. Like, fuck. That's awful.
Yeah, it's almost become like an industry standard anymore, right? I mean, you hear it all the time. And, you know, the thing is, I mean, yeah, they shouldn't have to be worried about it. They know what they have in that IP. They know it's going to sell regardless of when they put it out. So, you know, unless it's some kind of pressuring from Sony, which I highly doubt because they don't seem to be that kind of, you know, publisher. But just when it comes out because that, you know, you've got a lot to live up to, you know, and it's just work ethic for these people that are there too. You know, they probably, you know, I understand how it is, even though I don't have a job. I will say that when you're there, you want to give them the best thing you can do, regardless of how you're treated, regardless, because you're passionate about what you're doing, you know, in whatever line of work it is. So, you know, if they're okay with, you know, putting in 90 hours, if they're getting paid for it, and they, you know, and like I said, if they're fine and their health is okay, then okay, do what you got to do. But it doesn't seem like that's the case in a lot of these, you know, areas and some of these studios.
Like the biggest story that I ever got from my friend is he said that everyone, like every Druckmann gets roasted on social media that he's like, whether it's for his political views or whatever. I like Neil Druckmann as a person. He comes across very kind-hearted and everything else. And what my friend used to tell me is that when they were doing development for The Last of Us Part 2, Druckmann would literally work 15, 16-hour days when everyone was doing 9-hour days still, and would go to every department and see what they were doing and go, do you need help with this? What do you need? Do you need this? Do you need help with that? What can I do to help make this better for you?
And people see that and want to work harder.
Yeah, and see, the thing is when I've worked in tons of places where I've put in 70, 80, 90-hour weeks. But when you have a leader that is working those hours too, and in the, like, for me, it was in the field work, but for them, it's like in the studio working with you. When you see your director or your CEO of the company working those hours with you, it instills that desire to meet that level of dedication.
Mm-hmm. And
I worry for a lot of these developers. Like, you look at perfect example is Corey from Sony Santa Monica. Look how much that dude aged in the 5 years of development from God of War.
He did. Yeah. He went from like a baby face. I watched that damn documentary to like a fucking 80-year-old man.
Like that. Like the biggest thing is like we all knew God of War was supposed to come out and fall. And Corey literally went to Sean Layden and went, "I'm not killing my team for this." And Sean Layden, to his credit, went, "Okay, take the time you guys need." And the whole studio took like a few weeks off. And like the thing is like developers and publishers and everything else, they need to get on the same terms. Like Dan brought up Anthem's development. I know Anthem's part of our topics list tonight.
Maybe.
The problem with
I don't think so.
the problem with Anthem is when a publisher sets a date and it's dictated by investors.
Yeah.
Sony's got the benefit, and I've always said this, the reason why Sony can rely on being flexible with all their first-party in-house studios is because they have so much money coming in from other assets, PS Plus, PS Now, blah, 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 that they can keep investors happy and push these games back and be like, we know The Last of Us Part 2 is going to sell like 15 million, so we can push it back. It's fine. We're still making money in these areas. Companies like EA, don't have that benefit. They need these games to come out in succession. They need it to be successful. We're seeing it with Call of Duty. They had to transition Treyarch in. Treyarch usually gets a year off. They're back into the pits for another Call of Duty next year.
How many games, though? I mean, with like you say, like EA, they put out, at least FIFA, Madden, probably, RPG of some sort. They put out games all the time, NHL and all this other stuff. Now, I know those may not sell 15 million, but I mean, well, Madden will, and FIFA for sure will. Not sure about hockey. Sorry, Haynes. But
the big thing is like, I know from working with a hydro-based company, the problem is when you have stock investors and everything else, no one wants you to plateau and stay at a consistent rate. People want year-over-year growth every year.
Yeah.
And the thing is like with EA and particularly Activision, when I listen to their earnings call, because I'm super into like the financial side of it, their earnings call predictions were stupid. They wanted like 60% year-over-year growth.
That's crazy.
And most companies experience maybe like 2, 3, 4% is considered a quote unquote good year. Activision's like, no, we want 60%. And they're like, well, we're a couple of percent off from hitting that, so we're going to lay off staff so we hit that percentage marker.
Yep. What a bunch of assholes.
And that's the sad future of video games. The more corporately invested they become, the more it revolves more around stockholders' desires versus what's practical.
And speaking of the future of video games,
yes,
I heard there's Baldur's Gate coming out. Possibly.
Yeah, how much crunch time are you gonna have to put in to get your body ready for that, Nick?
Like, fuck those devs. You better get something out right now.
Well, it was great because I was doing truck runs at work, so I didn't have Wi-Fi because I was up north most of the week.
None of that sounds great.
So I'm sitting there. I get home. I had like a super shit day. It was like 14-hour day. I get home. I lay down. I turn on my phone, and I've got 113 notifications. And at least half of them were people tagging me in that Nebelian tweet for Baldur's Gate 3. And I instantly had a smile on my face.
Well, dude, so you and I have known each other for what, 2.5 years? I don't even know.
Yeah, basically.
And literally since I've known you, I've known that the one thing you want in the entire world is Baldur's Gate 3.
And it's funny because I listened to that video, I don't know if it was the Ubisoft one or I think it was the Ubisoft, and you mentioned it in that video. Just like in Pat, you're like, well, I'm still holding that hill, for Baldur's Gate 3. And no shit, like a day or two later, it comes out. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Anytime anyone's ever asked you, like, what you want to see out of this year, what you want to see out of E3, what you're hoping for the next year, you're always like, Baldur's Gate 3. And everyone's like, Nick. And here we are.
It's funny because I'm actually clipping a part of gaming perspective I think it was about 4 or 5 weeks ago, because I threw it in the news that they're reporting Baldur's Gate to console. And the guys were laughing at me, of course, because I was all excited about it, even though I've played it like 15 million times on PC. And I was like, you look, they're porting these because they're drumming up hype for a sequel. And they're like, no, BioWare made it. They won't make another game. And then the rumor comes out that the people that made Divinity Original Sin 2, which is the highest rated RPG this generation,
that's a good game,
could be making Baldur's Gate 3. And I'm just like, boner, take my money, collector's edition, whatever. Like, I'm buying like it's to the point I told everyone on my podcast, I'm like, you're getting Baldur's Gate gifted to you now.
Man, here's the thing. I played the crap out of those games back in the day. I loved them. Loved those games. I never thought in a million years we get a Baldur's Gate 3. I mean, you basically willed this to life, Nick.
I think so.
I'm pretty sure this is just Nicholas, I need this right now. And it just happened. It took a while. It did take a long time, but you eventually pulled it off, and I'm very proud of you and so happy for you. It's like you're having...
The best part of this is that Baldur's Gate 2 released September 21st, 2000. And there's a potential that a sequel to this game is going to come out. It's not going to come out this year. I have no, if it is happening, it's not coming out this year. It'll come out next year. So most likely, it'll be 20 years since the last game. and they're bringing it back to life.
I didn't get too much into the details. Is it? I'm assuming to PC and then possibly ported later to. I mean,
apparently it's going to be all the way across the board. Very much. They said they might have to early access it. In the rumor, it said that it would be day one on PC and Xbox Game Preview, very similar to how Divinity Original Sin 2 was day one on PC, early access on Xbox, and then when it launched full release on Xbox, that's when it'll hit PlayStation.
Speaking of full release. That's not even a segue.
No, not a segue at all. Yeah, I think it's really cool that you pretty much made this happen. I would have been cool with this announcement either way. I played the shit out of those games when they first came out, but haven't touched them since. And they were really fun, but I was never like clamoring for Baldur's Gate 3, but now I'm so excited that it's coming out because of you.
It's crazy. And you can get and all the other ones are releasing, all of them, but what, 2 or 3 of them are releasing on
it's Baldur's Gate 1, Baldur's Gate 2, the complete edition, so that'll include all the DLC expansions. I think the only hold on.
Neverwinter Nights, Icewind Dale, I think I saw. I don't remember.
Yeah, they're all getting released, just not at the same time. I know Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 are on the same disc. Like when you buy the copy, you're gonna get 1 and 2 complete editions with all the DLC on one. Like
that's so much game.
That's so much game, and the rumor is right. I think I was reading it's not even going to be full price.
Nice.
I'm not gonna lie. Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 on my Switch is a really cool thought. Like the amount of time I can just kind of put in here and there when I play it. Like that's perfect.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those games where it's like, do I get the enhanced edition or do I just buy it for both systems? It's probably gonna be one of those both system games because I can probably I want to take it with me, and that would be amazing. I mean, I want it out today, for my Colorado trip, but shit, that ain't happening.
Did they announce a release date for this one?
I think it's September, right? Didn't they say for the
re-release?
I thought it was September. You know what I should do? Check seasongaming.com.
That would be a great idea.
Let me take a look.
I feel like Nick should be answering this question. Nick, are you alive?
Wait a minute. He's frozen. I was like, man, is he stunned?
I thought he was very seriously looking up an article.
He got so excited that he froze. Oh my god!
I love the look.
We lost Nick,
and I think I can make it to where that image just it's gone. I wanted to make it to where that image
should have put it in the background.
Huh?
Yes.
That's a bummer.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, physical edition. Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition will arrive in major retailers December 3rd, North America, and December 6th in other territory, while the other titles will arrive earlier on September 24th in North America. So September 24th-ish. Physical editions for Baldur's Gate, I'm assuming. So yeah, soon.
Nick has texted.
Is he
Nick
okay?
Says just rebooting. My PC crashed.
Okay.
He got too excited.
He did. That happens. All right.
Yeah, all of us have, performance anxiety sometimes.
Yeah. All right. So while he's gone, we'll come back to Baldur's Gate.
Yes.
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah. I think I've seen a lot of people defend this move and they're like, you're thinking of him as Twilight. No, I think he's a really bad Batman. Like that's
bad actor. Totally.
I can't. So somebody at work mentioned if he was like Batman Beyond, like if they did like a Batman Beyond movie, or if he was Nightwing, he'd be a badass Nightwing, possibly.
Who was the other guy that was in the running for it? It was him and somebody else.
I didn't see anyone else. I just saw the Robert Pattinson headline and I vomited.
Yeah, it's so gross. But
He's not.
I don't even know why they keep doing this. Like, how many fucking Batmans do we need? Will this be like not including Adam West. I'm just talking movie Batmans. This is like 32.
It is. It's very close, and I don't know. They haven't been perfect. None of them have been perfect since like Michael Keaton was probably pretty close to a perfect Batman.
Yeah, he was awesome.
I liked the Val Kilmer Batman pretty well too.
Yeah, I guess.
But Christian Bale Batman was weird, even though the movies were amazing.
Christian Bale is fucking weird.
That's true.
Yeah.
I maybe that's partially because I can never not see him as American Psycho, but his Batman was weird. Like the whole like that hurt.
The fuck was that?
That was Batman talking.
Do we know if it's gonna be? Is this just gonna be like a whole reboot of the fucking series again? Because that's what we need.
I have to imagine it is.
Yeah, or they just go back and play like a younger Ben Affleck. Maybe.
I don't know. It's all weird. Ben Affleck was a bad Batman, and I like Ben Affleck a lot.
Yeah.
It's got to be like a reboot because Robert Pattinson comes across as so young, even though he's like in his mid to late 30s, right? He's
Nicholas Hoult.
Oh, Nicholas Hoult, the guy who played Beast in the X-Men movies.
Better. I think.
It would have been better, but obviously, again, like that's another dude who looks young. They've got to be going for a younger story.
Yeah, for sure.
Like this is, but how many times do we have to fucking watch Batman become Batman?
Yeah, I'm wondering like how they're going to change the origin story this time.
God,
it's gonna be fucking terrible, man.
I mean, to be fair, we all know that the Batman movies are made or braid.
Yes.
Made or broken on their villains. So I want to see what villain they have.
But even that, I mean, how many times can they do the Joker?
Oh, exactly. No, I'm so tired of seeing the Joker. Even this new like Joaquin Phoenix Joker that everyone's excited about. I'm tired of seeing the Joker over and over and over and over again. Also,
I'm done.
After Heath Ledger did it, everybody else stopped forever.
Yes.
Welcome back,
I'll
Nick.
agree with you. Nick, you're back.
My PC could not handle the Baldur's greatness.
Yeah. That was it. I mean, that's what we figured. We figured either that or you got something on it.
Well,
so.
Yeah, you exploded a little bit early. Yeah, you froze where you were like looking something up on your computer, and yeah. I thought that you had just like you were really seriously trying to find whatever you wanted to talk about.
Yes, I was like, man, he's getting intense.
Yeah,
I said, I don't know what's happening here.
I knew that something was wrong when I asked about the release date, and Dan answered before you, and I was like, wait a second.
Yes.
So is there anything else you have to add about Baldur's Gate, or should we all tune into the gaming perspective?
Oh, those guys are getting dunked on so hard. They've been clowning me for months about this. This is going to be Retribution Day. We're doing our E3 predictions, but I put the topic list out, and the topic list was intros, me dunking on you guys, Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony, break, dunk on you guys some more.
Baldur's Gate 3, break, and then everything else.
Like I like my E3 is already done. Like everything else is just bonus now.
Yeah, really.
This I feel how Alden's gonna feel when they announce Horizon Zero Dawn 2. This is how I feel right now.
Well, but see, that's the thing. We know that that's coming. You didn't know Baldur's Gate for real was coming. It's more like if they announced a new BioShock, Dan and I would be like, that's good. Like, I don't care what else happens because we don't know if or when it's coming. So to get that announcement would be amazing. But even then, like, I expect a new BioShock before I expected a new Baldur's Gate. So
yeah, I have to admit, like, when Skybound Games announced they were porting it all to console, I was like, it's kind of a weird thing to port. Like, why would you port like 18-year-old PC games to console now? And then I was like, they're doing something with it. And I was like, but BioWare's making Anthem. And I was like, I started doing a bunch of, like, I nerded out and did about 2 hours of research. And I found out that BioWare had no ownership of the IP whatsoever. They developed it, but they did not own a single asset within that game.
Perfect. I'd like to see the room in your house where you have like the conspiracy theory board where it's just like a pin under BioWare and like strings running through everything.
It's funny because there's a Photoshop photo of me floating around where, the one with the guy where he's like, someone photoshopped my face on and put Splinter Cell in one corner and Baldur's Gate on the other, and it's just absolutely perfect.
That's great. All right, so real quick, what do you think Robert Pattinson as Batman? Do you care?
I think he'll do okay. Honestly, I don't understand. Like every time, like the biggest thing is like I've watched these superhero movies for long enough. Whenever a character is announced as this actor's taking this role, everyone's like, "Oh, it's garbage. It's gonna be terrible." Don't you remember Heath Ledger being announced for the Joker? People are like, "Oh, all he does is corny fucking movies. What the fuck? He's not gonna be able to play a serious role like this." And he literally killed himself to give the best performance he ever gave.
And A Knight's Tale, if I'm correct.
Yeah, Knight's Tale. That's the first movie I remember Heath Ledger in. I love that movie.
I remember 10 Things I Hate About You. I watched a lot with whatever girlfriend I was with at the time.
And of course, but
I don't know. Like, we can't sit there and pretend like Ben Affleck was an amazing Batman.
No, we don't have to say that Robert Pattinson's going to be good, though.
No, and that's the thing is like, I don't know. Like, I used to always sit there and when they announce, "Oh, they're making an Aquaman movie," I'm like, and then they got Jason Momoa, and I'm like, "Ooh." And then that turned into like, of all things that the DC extended universe actually knocked out of the park, it was a Wonder Woman movie and Aquaman.
What?
Did you watch that movie?
What, Aquaman?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
You're the first person I've heard say that they knocked it out of the park.
Absolutely. Comparatively to every other DCEU movie, it's amazing.
Well, that's not fair because all of the other DCU movies suck. Tanya saw Aquaman just because she wanted to see Jason Momoa with his shirt off. And even she came back and she was like, well, the only good part was Jason Momoa with his shirt off. The rest of the movie was kind of campy and weird. She liked it, though. She wants to rewatch it, but I'm pretty sure, again, that's just because of Jason Momoa with his shirt off.
Well, how do I explain this? Because I'm weird with, like, superhero movies in general. Like, I still think, like, the Dark Knight trilogy and the original Spider-Man trilogy with Tobey Maguire is, like, the best comic book movies. Like, outside of Endgame and Infinity War. Because both those movies I really enjoyed. But, like, I remember, like, Anchorman harassed me to start watching Marvel movies because I had no interest. So he made me watch Civil War. And I was like, this is the dumbest, campiest movie I've ever been forced to sit down and watch. I don't want to watch this. This is how people felt about Suicide Squad is how I felt about Civil War. I was like, this is terrible. Why would I want to watch this? And then I did not want to watch any other Marvel movies. I was just like, they're going to be all that terrible. And then I watched, what did my wife make me watch? She made me watch Captain America Winter Soldier. And I was like, oh, this movie's going to be bad too. Freaking Captain America's just a freaking space cadet. That was a really good movie though. That's like one of my top 5 superhero films now.
I've heard that. I've missed the last 3 years of Marvel movies because it just got to the point where I missed a couple of them, and now to catch up is a nightmare.
True.
Yeah.
Because there's a new one every 2 months, and they're 3 hours long.
I actually sat down, not before Endgame because I really didn't give a crap, but I sat down and progressively over a 4 or 5 month period started working my way through it, and most of them are just decent movies. They're not amazing or groundbreaking. There's some really good movies in there, but my favorite Marvel cinematic adventure was Ant-Man, just because Paul Rudd was a superhero, and as an actor, he just seems so excited about the fact that he's playing a superhero.
Well, Paul Rudd is amazing.
Yeah, he's great, and the best part of Civil War was everyone sitting there getting all angry, and Paul Rudd's just sitting there, just I'm happy to be here.
Dan, I can see it in your eyes, and also I can see it in our chat where you are actively trying to talk about the food that you want to eat right now instead of being on a podcast.
I haven't eaten anything all day because of the shit news. So No, that's not true. I had an apple fritter this morning, which was delicious. It was like my you're getting fired meal. So it really wasn't that great. But I do want a cheesesteak right now, and there's one right down the road. Pepper Jack's Grill. They put that in there about 4 or 5 years ago. It was super hot. Now it's fucking nobody there.
Damn.
I can always just walk in and just grab what I need. Might do a burrito. Might just fucking do a steak and shrimp burrito from that place. They make like big Chipotle burritos.
A cheesesteak sounds really good right now.
I know it does. I had to call my wife.
All right.
She's still out.
So I guess we're going to wrap it up then. We will have to talk about Anthem next week. We'll have to talk about Microsoft Game Pass on PC next week. Or we'll put that on the list for next week and not get to it because welcome to Third Wheel Arcade. So are we good to wrap up? Nick, anything else you want to expound upon on Baldur's Gate?
No, I'm good. It's greatness. Anyone caught slandering it on my timeline will get my foot up their arse.
Oh, good. I have something I can get back at you for the Horizon Zero Dawn stuff.
Yeah, except for the fact that Baldur's Gate 3 will actually be good.
All right, here we go. All right, Nick, where can people find you? And what should they find? Like, what have you released lately? That was a terrible way to ask any question at all. You've released a couple really good, important articles the last few weeks. Tell me about them real quick.
All right, so you can find all of my stuff on Twitter. We've got on my channel, you can just search Undead 3 XVI. Me and Sam have been doing E3 prediction videos for every conference. Been crunching those all week, editing them together, and managed to get all 4 of them out in a 4-day stint. So if you guys want to check those out, that's very much appreciated. Got a ton of stuff for E3. E3 is going to be nuts. I'm not going to sleep, basically. So there's tons of stuff. So if you want to keep up with any of the stuff I'm working on, you can find me on Twitter at Undead3XVI, or you can also find all of the stuff I write at www.tickgamesnetwork.com.
Yeah, and your prediction videos have been awesome. I've loved every one of them. I haven't watched the Xbox one yet. That came out today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one was like, it took me, the Square Enix and Ubisoft ones took me about 3 hours each to edit, which wasn't that bad. And the Bethesda one took a little bit longer, but the Xbox one, I literally, I worked at 3 a.m. this morning and I went to bed at midnight. I think I edited it for 6 hours last night to get it, to make sure that I got it out today.
Nice.
But you're
crunching.
Yeah.
Crunch.
E3 is always this is the thing with working for an independent news site, but it's you don't make enough money where you can quit your full-time job. It's the fact that your full-time job doesn't respect the fact that you're in the busiest time of the year for your other hobbies.
Yeah. All right, Dan, where can people find you? What do you want to tell us before you go get a cheesesteak?
I'm going to get a cheesesteak.
Yes.
Debating on what to get. Normally I just get a steak because I don't like cheese on my cheesesteak. It's fucking weird, right? You know what I put on it? Like a spicy ranch or au jus, whatever it's called.
You know what would be good with that spicy ranch is a good cheese.
It might be. I'll never know because I don't get cheese on my cheesesteaks. So,
wow.
But I might get double meat. Really spice it up a little bit.
It's been one of those double meat days. I think you should.
Yeah, I think so.
Double meat days.
Okay, my wife lost something this morning. She said she got out of bed and she heard it fly off the bed. She's like, she couldn't. I can't remember what the hell it was either. Oh, was it a key? I don't know. But she's like, you need to find it. You find it for me, please. I said I got fired. She's like, okay, I'll give you $10 if you find it. Okay. I said, and she's like, okay, can you put it? I said, that's going to be an extra $5. I got to make that scratch. She's like, okay. So, she's super supportive. It's fantastic. It's hilarious. So she's with me. We'll be good. Good.
Shout out to your wife, one of the original Boy Meets Girl Meets Boy Meets World's fans. So
she still loves it.
That is fantastic.
Love that show. And also Turkish soap operas.
I just want you to know that because of your podcast, I have actually been like sitting down and watching Boy Meets World again, and my wife clowns me endlessly.
Why?
I need to watch it once.
It's a good show. Dan, we really, really, really need to do an episode where you are on that show and you watch an episode for the first time.
So I should watch the episode before you do it?
I don't know. We'll have to work this out. Workshop it.
Okay. Workshop it. Let me know.
I'll ask Tanya what she thinks because she's the smart one.
Whatever you want to do. I'm good with it.
So yeah.
Why was it? Never seen it.
Well.
But I know Topanga.
Of course you do. Fucking creep. So you can find me at Boy Meets Girl Meets Boy Meets World. You can find me here. You can find me on the PlayStation broadcast when we do an episode. It's been a while. It's been, I think, over a month now since we've recorded. Schedules have been weird. Life has been weird. And sometimes bra disappears. Anyway, thank you for joining us. This has been Third Wheel Arcade, episode 20, I think. So,
Jesus.
yeah, I know. Have a great week, you fucking bridge babies.